second grade. I hope your week's been well. Today we're going to do our science lesson. It's about, will this object sink or will it float? And today, to mix it up, we're going to be comparing if objects sink or float differently in fresh or in salt water. So let's get started. Right here I have prepared 2 mugs of water. This one's going to be for salt water, and this one will be for fresh water. Behind me on this board, we will be recording whether the objects sink or float in salt and fresh water. So with the salt water, we'll say, does the cranberry sink or does it float? And we'll check it off as we go. Alright, so to start us out, we're going to finish making our salt water. As you can see, you're going to need 2 cups. I've labeled mine here, salt and fresh water, just so that we can tell which is which. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to take a tablespoon measure, and I'm going to put 3 tablespoons of salt into the salt water. So do 1, 2, 3. That one went over just a tad bit, but just a little bit of extra isn't going to mess up the experiments. Now I'm going to take a spoon and I'm going to mix, mix, mix. After you've mixed until your salt has dissolved, we're going to start experimenting with some objects. So first, I'm going to take our cranberries. I'll put 1 in the fresh water. Let's see, did that sink or did it float? It looks like it sunk to me because the cranberry went all the way to the bottom. So I'm going to turn to our graph here, and I'm going to say that the cranberry sunk. All right, now I'm going to put a cranberry in the salt water. What do you think is going to happen when I drop it in the salt water? All right, let's see if you're right. Would you look at that in the salt water? The cranberry floated to the top. See right there? It's right at the water line. All right, so if we turn to our graph, we're going to look for our object, the cranberry, and did it sink or did it float? It floated, that's right. All right, now it's time for our second object, the straw. So let's test it out in the fresh water first. Do you think it's going to sink or float? All right, let's see. Oh, would you look at that? The straw floats right at the top of the fresh water. So we'll take our marker and we'll turn to our graph, fresh water. The object is the straw and it floated. All right, now we're going to test out the salt water. Here's our straw. We'll drop it in. Look at that. Is that sinking or floating? It's floating. Good job, guys. Turn to our graph, go to the straw, and we'll mark off float. All right, now for our third object, I have some toys. These are some little connecting toys. We're going to test these out. What do you guys think they're going to do? Do you think they're going to sink or float? All right, let's see who's right. I'm going to drop both of these in at the same time. Whoa, would you look at that? They're both floating. Both at the top right there. All right, so we're going to take our marker, and for fresh water, we find fresh water, and the toy floated, and then we're going to go to salt water, and the toy floated. Awesome job, guys. You can complete this at home with any materials that you have. I hope you have a wonderful week. Thanks for coming. Bye.